Hello, my name is Marguerite Nicholson and I'm the owner of Nicholson Vineyards. We knew in 1982 that we wanted to someday grow grapes, and we were lucky enough to find this property in the early 90s and decided to purchase it and with the hopes of growing grapes. How many years have we been here on this property? Well, we bought it about 25 years ago and we've lived here since 1991. So everything that we have here, we have developed. It's just under 11 acres, and we have 4.5 acres of grapes, both Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, in 2 separate vineyards, and then we have just under 4 acres of our estate olives. In addition to Chardonnay and Pinot Noir grapes, we also grow Italian-style olives. We have 5 different Tuscan varietals planted, and we have just under 4 acres. They're a perfect complement for grapes. They love the same environment, love the same soil. They're perfect here. And what we do is, out of our 5 Tuscan varietals, our main one is a Pendolino, and every December at harvest we do a field blend. So we don't pick and separate the varietals individually, we mix them all together, and from the blend we press our oil. Why grapes? Both of our families have semi-agricultural backgrounds, which means it's not what our parents did for a living, but it's what their families did. So both my husband's and my grandparents had ranches. We grew up as kids always on the ranches. So growing grapes was something that was very interesting to both of us. So what kind of grapes are grown on our property? Well, this is a beautiful area for both Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. Pleasant Valley traditionally was apples. For 100 years, apples grew here, and over the last 2 decades, a lot of the apples are beginning to disappear, and they've been replanted with vineyards. Because of our location and our proximity to the coast, both Chardonnay and Pinot Noir grow beautifully here. Both those grapes are very thin-skinned, susceptible to disease, but they love the ocean influence. So they like cool mornings and evenings and the beautiful heat that we have during the day. After we harvest, where do we store our wine? We actually store them in barrels. The fun thing about barrels in the wine industry is you have a very wide selection of what you can purchase as far as your wood is concerned. So winemaking as a whole is a very scientific process, but it's also very artistic. The scientific part of winemaking is the pH, the acid, the Brix, which is a sugar measurement, making sure that the wine is dry, making sure that it's chemically balanced and that there's no bacteria. That's the science side. But then what do you do with that wine? How do you store it? You take and you put it in different types of barrels. So Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, we use 100% French oak barrels. For our Syrah, our Cabernet, our blends, our Zin, we use American oak from Kentucky. But each barrel is not only a different type of oak, but it is toasted or heated for a certain amount of months. It is branded in different ways. It is air dried for different amounts of months. So a winemaker is not only a scientist, but he's an artist, where he takes a grape and then he takes the wine and then he finishes it by letting it age in a specific barrel that he chooses that will enhance the flavors of that specific wine. My favorite part about owning a winery, that is sharing the experience with people who don't know anything about agriculture. I love having the opportunity to have people visit, to explain what we do in the vineyard, to talk about the different trellis systems, to show them our equipment that we use during harvest, to share with them and let them taste the wine and have just a little bit of the experience. How many cases do we produce? For the Santa Cruz Mountains, we're considered a boutique winery, but we're more the norm than the exception. We produce approximately 2,000 cases annually, and we sell out of every vintage with our wine club and through retail sales out the front door. We have a very small wholesale business, but that's not why we do this. We do this to have people come to our property, enjoy the experience of visiting, seeing the vineyard, seeing the grove, and drinking our wine. The experience of growing grapes and making wine is something that can be shared with everybody. You don't have to have a special knowledge to enjoy the experience.